I think it's probably foolish to share too much about one's personal life on the internet, but here we are. It's just you and me. Let's chat. Hello. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Megan. This is Millennial Meg, a channel where I talk about decluttering and, well, I don't talk about decluttering. I do decluttering and cleaning, and then I talk about whatever I'm thinking about. Today, I am thinking about all of the weight that I have gained back since my push to lose weight back from like September to December. So it is February. Today is actually Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. And yeah, I have gained back my weight. I also have let my house devolve again. Normally, I kind of try and film early on Saturday mornings, just me cleaning things up. Then I film, and then I just do a voiceover later. But I thought maybe I would just talk to you while I'm actually doing things today, because Emilie, my daughter, is asleep taking a nap, which not sure how much longer that will last, but cross our fingers, I can at least get some stuff done and we can chat. So the only hard part about this is that I don't like crinkling noises or dish noises, or I can't like start the dishwasher if I'm going to talk to you like this. That's the only part I hate about it, but that's okay. All right, let's do our best. Oh, also now the dogs would like to come in. So why is the house a mess? Well, friends, because I am not just a stay-at-home mom. Although, to be fair, even if I was just a stay-at-home mom, I don't think that would be bad if the house was like this. Because sometimes you just have to pay attention to your kids and like not clean all the time. But what's happening now is because I am working. And also because last night I had my therapy group that I'm in. I was on Zoom last night. And so when my son came home and I cleaned out his backpack, I'll show you over here in a minute, but like the countertop is a disaster because he had like 4 days worth of lunches still in his backpack. So I had to just put all that on the counter. And then, as you know, when you have some clutter on the counter, it attracts more clutter. So anyway, here we are. So let's clean up the table, then we'll get the counters, and we'll just do like a little life update. Because I feel like I haven't like chatted about me in a while. So let's talk about the weight, shall we? I wish I had a cameraman so that you can like follow me around. But oh, also, I'm very happy because I have this microphone, and that means that I don't have to worry about being close to the camera when I'm talking. So, my weight, yes. So last September, I joined BodySlims, and BodySlims is a program in Ireland, and basically, God, I have to take the trash out. I don't want to. BodySlims is a program based out of Ireland. If you've heard me talk about it, you already know. If you haven't heard me talk about it, look at another video that I did and I'll talk about it. But basically, I spent 10 weeks losing weight actively, and I lost about 11 pounds. I started, I think, at like 182.2 and ended at whatever 11 pounds was. I am now today, I think I was 178.2. So that means that I have crept back up since the end of that journey. So it is time. I am getting back on track today, actually. I have decided because, well, for many reasons. One, I still really would like to be thin. I don't know if that's ever really going to happen, but I would like to be thin again. I'm just going to show you my stomach right now. Look at this. I'm not pregnant, like not even a little bit. I'm not even, like, I will never be pregnant again, knock on wood. This is just what my stomach is like right now. Just walking around because I'm bloated as heck because I just ate a bunch of gluten. And I've been eating whatever the hell I want for like the last, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, 2.5 months. So that's what happens when I eat whatever I want. So what am I going to do, guys? What am I going to do? Well, what I'm going to do is twofold. Number one, I'm going to start tracking my calories again, even though I don't really want to. But I also think I'm going to do focus more on the intermittent fasting aspect of it, which is how I lost weight at the beginning of the summer last year, as I just did intermittent fasting. I wasn't really restricting my calories. So I'm going to try and focus more on the intermittent fasting and on the movement, on actually taking walks and stuff again. Or maybe not even taking walks, but just making sure that I'm getting my steps in every day, because I was really struggling to get my steps in since it's been winter here. When it was nice and summery and springy last year, and even into the fall when it was getting a little cold, I was taking walks every single day, and it was not a problem. In the summer, I was taking maybe half-hour walks, so maybe I don't know, maybe a little under 2 miles. And then once I started BodySlims, I was taking an hour walk every day, which was closer, and then a little bit over 3 miles a day. I have not been doing that. And I think when I was doing the 3 miles a day or a little over, I think I was averaging maybe 10 to 12,000 steps per day. But now my goal, honestly, I just want minimum 8,000 steps a day. I don't know why I'm trying to quietly wash my dishes. Okay, I'll do the dishes a little bit later. How about that? Because there's plenty of other things that we can do without me washing the dishes right now. Also, this is so gross. Please don't call CPS on me, but I finally got a new bottle brush, because these little cups are such a weird shape. You can never really get them clean without a brush. So, Mom of the Year, I got one. And now my daughter won't die of some weird bacteria that I'm sure she's been dealing with for quite some time. That's terrible. Oh, I think I already mentioned this. I also really need to take the trash out, and I really don't want to. Look at this. Look. Yes, look at that trash. All right, guys, I'm switching to voiceover because it became nearly impossible for me to stay focused on what I was doing in real time, and also to chat with you about life. So I'm just falling back on my voiceover roots, and we are gonna just finish it out this way. And I think I only actually kept trying to talk to the camera for another minute anyway, so you're not missing too much. So let's talk about life and what I'm doing about the weight issue. I know I addressed it already, kind of, but I think I'm in the process of still learning more, okay? I'm still learning more, and which is crazy because I feel like I have read and watched and listened to every possible piece of information that one could consume about weight loss over the last few years. I mean, gosh, I don't know. I've been trying to lose weight since I was 12, and I'm 41. And also, if you if you play the how many times Megan says her age bingo, whatever, you can go ahead and mark it off. I think I say that I'm 41 in every video. So I'm 41. But yeah, I've been trying to lose weight ever since I was a kid, ever since I was 12, and I started ballet. And, I used to watch other people's bodies a lot in ballet class. I would see a lot of people be thin. There was a lot of disordered eating in ballet, and I used to honestly, like, I know this is kind of sick, but I used to actually wish that I could restrict the way that I was reading about in some books and like articles and things. But I really never could. I've never, ever, ever had the willpower to restrict my eating significantly, which health wise is good, right? I was never able to be disciplined enough to have a true eating disorder. But also, right, like, so that's good, but also I never have been able to be consistent or like stay on any sort of weight loss program for any meaningful length of time. The 10-week program felt like forever. Like 10 weeks felt like a million years. And I know that there's science somewhere that says, it takes like 65 days to build a habit or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they quoted in BodySlims from time to time. And so I don't think that 70 days was enough, even though I guess it should have been more than enough to build the habit of tracking my calories and only eating like 14 to 1500 calories a day. But I just rebelled. I honestly just rebelled. As soon as the program was over, I was like, okay, it's the holidays. Like, it's on like Donkey Kong. I'm eating whatever I want, whenever I want, as much as I want, because I just, restricted forever and ever. And now I, quote unquote, deserve this, right? I've talked about this before in my videos if you've been with me. And I know that that is a trap that I don't want to be in anymore. I don't want to be in the like, oh, I deserve this trap. I know that it's false. I know that eating poorly or overeating is not something that I deserve. It's not like a positive thing. It's not a good thing. It's not an indulgent thing that is good for me. It is a thing that is not good for me. What I deserve, theoretically, what all of us deserve, right, is to be healthy and to have energy and to be fit and to be able to, be active with our families and ourselves and, just to feel good, right? That's ostensibly what eating well and exercising is supposed to get us. Oh, here, sorry, I'm showing you the lunch stuff that Amari, my son, he had literally like 4 bags worth of lunch stuff in his backpack that I cleaned out. And I'm dumping like the sandwiches and the like chips and stuff. I'm just dumping them into that bag before I put the containers in the dishwasher. So don't worry, I did not like just dump a whole sandwich in the dishwasher, even though I know it looked like I did. But yeah, so I just, with the eating stuff, we all deserve to be healthy and confident and fit and to have energy and all that. But I just, for whatever reason, I am just struggling so hard with this, which stinks, right? Because I feel like if you go back and look at some of my videos that I made about my weight loss over that 10-week period, like some of them were very optimistic. I was losing weight almost every single week of the program. I lost something. Even if it was less than a pound, I still was on a downward trend. And I have been on an upward trend since stopping. So anyway, it's just been difficult. Now, what have I already done? Because I filmed this on Friday on Valentine's Day, and today is Monday after Valentine's Day. So some time has passed. I have taken some action. So let's talk about what my plan is now and what I'm learning and what information I have that is new since last we spoke about my weight. So I found this lady, and I apologize. I'll try to remember to put her channel name here somewhere, or in the description if I don't edit it in. But there is a lady who has a pretty significant following on YouTube. And I happened to find her videos while I was searching for weight loss information this past week. And she's probably about my age-ish, I would guess. And she's pretty thin. And she had some weight, like a little weight loss journey. And now she's living her best life and she's active and she's thin and blah, 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 whatever. So she shared some things that were helpful. One, which I have known, but it was a good reminder. She talked a lot about focusing on protein, like focusing on what you can add in to your diet rather than what you can't have. I know that is definitely one of the reasons that I struggle is when I feel like I'm restricting and I'm not allowed to have something. Like bagels are a great example. When I am quote unquote dieting or when I am in weight loss mode, I will not let myself have bagels, or bread or carbs or things like that, like processed carbs, because I feel like once I sort of open the door to a bagel, or I open the door to a cookie or a piece of French toast, or whatever it is, it's like something switches in my brain, and it's like I can't stop. I just like when I eat processed carbs, my brain gets really excited and just wants all of the processed carbs, which is kind of how my brain responds to alcohol, I would say. Also, how my brain responded to nicotine, um, where, like with alcohol, if I had a little bit, like I had a glass of wine, I would be like, that was yummy, yum, 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 let's have another one. And then that was yummy. Let's have another one. Let's have another one. Let's have another one until I'm about to fall asleep. like, so, so for me, like, there's certain things that, like, if I have it, I'm having a lot of it. Like, there is no just having a little bit. Like, if I go to get a donut, for example, I will not order a donut. I must get at least 2 donuts. Sometimes I will eat 3. So yes, so that's one piece that this lady was talking about, where it's like, okay, focus on what you're adding in, focus on what you're having instead of obsessing over what you can no longer have. And you know what? I have basically stopped drinking alcohol. Like I've had a glass of wine occasionally, or I've had a beer occasionally in the last few years, but honestly, I've been basically alcohol free for the majority of the past 6 or 7 years. Um, so I wonder sometimes about like carbs and bread and cake and all that kind of stuff and sugar, uh, because my brain responds so similarly to those nutrients or those items, like it does to alcohol. I wonder if just not having them, like just saying, hey, like this just isn't a part of my life, it's just off the table. Like I wonder sometimes if that would be a benefit to me, um, which I know is kind of the opposite of what I'm saying this lady was focusing on. But as I'm speaking, like I do wonder about that. Like maybe if I just took it off the table and didn't think about it as like restricting, just thinking like, oh, actually, like this isn't good for me, or actually, like this is something I get addicted to, um, if that would help me. But anyway, what she suggests would be helpful is if I, or we humans, were to focus on like bringing in more protein, or bringing in more whole foods, bringing in more, green leafy vegetables, bringing in more um, colorful vegetables and fruits and things. So that was number one. The other thing that she brought up that I haven't really considered that much is strength training. weight bearing exercises. During BodySlims, they actually discouraged people from doing any weightlifting activities or doing anything other than walking. And the reason that they stated was that if you wanted to see dramatic weight loss, like their whole focus was numbers on the scale. So if you wanted to see like dramatic numbers lost every week, then they were suggesting that it would not be a good idea to incorporate weightlifting or any sort of like strength training, because then you're going to be getting muscle growth while you're losing fat. And then you wouldn't be seeing such dramatic numbers on the scale, which, if the numbers on the scale are what really motivate you, then that definitely makes sense. But now that I'm kind of thinking about it, if increasing muscle mass helps you burn more fat, then maybe, like, if I'm more concerned about my overall body composition and more concerned about how I look and more concerned about like being actually fit, not just like skinny fat, you know what I mean? Uh, then maybe it doesn't make sense to avoid strength training, you know? So this lady was saying like, do the strength training, like do strength training, like lift heavy weights. Especially if you're a woman of a certain age who is like losing bone mass, at a rapid rate. So that's something I'm considering as well. I have not actually started any strength training yet. I'm honestly scared. I don't want. I'm still in this sort of like lazy phase because I'm hibernating and it's winter. So I'm a little like scared to start a new workout routine, but I do think that that will be important. I do think that adding some strength training will be helpful. And I can do it indoors while it's still winter. So I should probably get on top of that. And then what else? Oh, and then here's the big thing. So here's what I actually did that this lady recommended, what I've already done as of today. So she has this great video, which I will link in the description. She has this great video about meal prepping for the week. And I have seen a lot of meal prepping videos. Okay. I've watched my fair share of meal prepping videos. I even like, I don't know, 12 years ago, I was listening to podcasts about, paleo meal prepping and stuff. Like I'm aware of meal prepping, but this is not a concept that has really worked for me, because to me, the idea of like prepping a whole week's worth of meals all at once has never been that appealing. Like it is appealing because of the ease of it, right? Like once the foods are already done, then you just have to like reach in the fridge and grab them, which is incredible. But the problem is I hate leftovers so much. Like the idea of eating food that like a fully prepared meal that has been in the fridge for a whole week, like eating that last meal that you prepared a week ago, bleh, like ew, yuck. It's not appealing to me at all. But this woman, I've never seen, and maybe other people have done it this way, but I've never seen it done the way that she did it. And I'm so sorry, I don't remember her name. I think it's like Sweat Fit Love or something. Sweat something Love. I don't know. I promise you I will link it. But so the way that she did this meal prep was genius, and it made it more appealing to me. And I actually did it. So she says, you're gonna prepare your vegetables. So like sweet potatoes, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, squash, whatever your vegetables are. And then she also prepped some rice, which I am not doing because again, rice is like an addictive carb to me. So I didn't want to tempt myself. And then she also did some like ground beef that she prepped, just like lightly seasoned, and some chicken breast, again, lightly seasoned. And so she prepped those all separately, with the idea being that now for the week, she has this variety of healthy food, plenty of protein, plenty of vegetables that are already cooked, and she can prepare them in the moment for like a lunch or a dinner, whatever, super quick, and just add different sauces or add different, like she can put the chicken on top of a salad if she wants, and add in some of the sweet potato cubes, or she can make the ground beef into a Mexican skillet if she wants, or she can make it into an Asian, meal with the rice. So I do like that a lot better than the idea of prepping like the full seasoned, prepared full meal for all 5 days or all 6 days. Because I feel like it gets old that way. So I like that I can kind of mix and match uh, the meals and then put different sauces or dips or whatever, or put it on a salad. I think that's going to make it a lot more appealing to me to have, quote unquote, leftovers or stuff that's already prepared. So super excited about that. And I did it. I went to Costco on Sunday and I spent a boatload of money, like so much money. I think I spent about $500 at Costco in one trip. Now, to be fair, that also included a pack of baby wipes. It included like a 40 something dollar box of pull-ups. And then it also included some dinners, like pre-prepared dinner situations, and some frozen stuff. So that was not just like my meal prep stuff. This is like the $500 is probably going to help us stay sustained as a family for like 2 weeks, which is great. Like that's about what the grocery budget is, if not less anyway. So I'm actually proud of that. But the sticker shock when you check out and your bill is $500, holy cannoli. I had a minor moment of panic, but I was like, okay, like this is fine. This is groceries. This is food. We are going to eat it all. And so I did. I bought all the vegetables. I bought all the fruit. I bought the meat. The amount of chicken breasts that I bought will probably last me for like a month, honestly. It was a lot of chicken for like $25. So I'm excited. So anyway, so I bought all of that, and then I spent now this lady on YouTube, her video said it will take an hour to meal prep for the whole week. It took me probably 3 hours, but to be fair, it was my very first time trying it, and I didn't use my air fryer at all. I just used my oven, and my stovetop to prepare like all the vegetables and the chicken. So I had to kind of like time things out, and it took longer because I had to wait for some of the stuff to come out of the oven before I could start again. So, but yeah, all said, it took me about 3 hours yesterday, and I ended up with enough stuff that hopefully I will be all set for the whole week for lunches. And I don't have to think about it. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about my calories because I already have calculated how many calories are in like each of the items that I prepped. So I just gotta like pack it up every morning or every night before, I guess, before I leave. So that's super exciting. I also can send it with my husband to work, which is great. And I also am probably going to actually eat the veggies that I bought, because that is the other biggest problem. Oh man, look at the air fryer. I actually do have to clean it, and I will. Yay, good for me. Does anybody else struggle to clean out the air fryer, or is it just me? I feel like, I don't know. Anyway, I mean, unless I cook something like really with a lot of oil or something, then obviously you have to clean it. But if I'm just popping in like some corn dog nuggets, that don't make that much of a mess. Like, I don't know. Anybody? Anybody? Am I alone? Am I the most disgusting person on the planet? Maybe. All right. I don't know. Anywho, where were we? Oh, yes. Waste. Food waste. Let's talk about food waste for a minute. So, my husband and I, I'm going to share a little bit of insight into our marriage at the moment. At risk of my own peril, I suppose. Like, I think it's probably foolish to share too much about one's personal life on the internet, but here we are. It's just you and me. Let's chat. So when I got home from Costco, like, okay, let's back up actually before I went to Costco. My husband, every time we open the freezer, he gets upset. And I understand. I get it. I get why he's upset when we open the freezer, because there is typically way too much stuff in the freezer that we will never eat. And so yeah. So he always is upset when we open the freezer. He always like complains about the freezer, blah blah blah. So when I got home from Costco, I knew that I needed to clean out the refrigerator and I needed to clean out the freezer in order to maximize space for the fresh things that I just bought. But I also knew that me throwing away all the stuff from the freezer was probably not going to go over great with Ed, because he would he would probably see all of the waste and then he would get mad, which is exactly what happened. As it turns out, I know him so well. And I was going to try and wait until he left the house, but I was impatient and I just wanted to get it done. So I did it. So I cleaned out the fridge and I started to clean out the freezer, and he started to comment, and I just asked him to please stop. I said, I am doing a good thing right now, so please stop. Like, please don't yuck my yum. Like, don't, like I was in this mode of like, okay, I'm going to do this healthy cooking. I'm going to do this meal prep. I just bought all these vegetables. I bought all this fruit. I have a plan. I'm moving forward. I'm going to do all this great stuff. And like, please don't come and rain on my parade and make me feel like a horrible person who's wasting money and who sucks at life and who's not good at anything. And so he did stop commenting, but he basically threw a little hissy fit. And then I threw a little hissy fit of shame and guilt. And then our whole day was ruined, basically, with each other. Because it's not wrong, right? Like, he is correct. Like, yes, we waste a lot of food. Historically, we have wasted a lot of food, so much food. And I do feel bad about that because I am primarily the person responsible for our food in the house. And so when I don't plan, or when my little ADHD brain, which I guess I don't know if I have ADHD, but whatever, my brain has problems. Guys, I've got some problems. So when my distractible brain makes impulsive decisions at the grocery store and I don't go in with a plan, then yes, I buy things that we don't eat. And then the other problem is that we as a family, like, if I suggest, hey, should we start eating some of this stuff from the freezer? Or when, at the end of a day, I'm like, I don't know what's for dinner. Like, I don't know what I want to make for dinner. Like, here, let's make whatever we have in the pantry. I am often met with, I don't want that, from my husband and my teenage son. So then I buy more stuff, or we order out, or whatever. And so that is how we have co-created this problem in our house where we have a lot of extra food. I also have a lot of I do a lot of aspirational shopping, like where I do buy a bunch of vegetables and a bunch of fruit and the salads. I like salads and broccoli for me, green beans, asparagus, like those are the biggest culprits for me. Like I buy them and then I don't eat them. Like I want to eat them. I would love to be a person who eats a bag of salad every day, but I don't. And so I can understand how and why when Ed saw all of the new produce coming in and then saw that I was throwing away all the old produce, I can see why he was upset with me. I do understand it. However, I guess, I don't know. I'm trying. I guess I keep repeatedly trying, and I am trying right now. Now I am in a season where I am trying again. So, I don't know. Does this anyone relate to this? Like anybody with me where it's like, yes, like I know I've made mistakes in the past, but can we please just like move on from that? Like, yes, I get it. I understand I disappointed you. I understand I have not been the most responsible. But now I do want to, like I'm coming from a good place. I don't know. I see the problem too is like I do see it with my clients, right? And depending on who I'm talking to, like which side of this the client is on, like I do see both sides, right? I get it. I get that he is frustrated and that he is correct in having his doubts about me and my ability to change and do the right thing. But I also, I don't know, like I also want to believe that I can change and that with enough motivation and enough drive and enough discipline and enough like goal setting that I can do better. And for periods of time, I can. Like, I am very determined to eat all of the vegetables that I just bought, even though I have never successfully eaten all of the vegetables that I've bought at Costco before they go bad, ever before in my life. But I am hopeful. But also, the reason I'm hopeful is not totally out of crazy town left field. Like, I do have a plan this week. I wrote the menu down for the dinners, and I've already cooked most of it. And in fact, today, I have already eaten some of the grilled chicken, and I have already eaten some broccoli, and I've already eaten some squash, and I've already eaten some sweet potato. So I am on the right track, you guys. I am on the right track. I have done it. I am a person who is doing it. I am someone who eats vegetables and protein. And I'm doing great, guys. I'm doing great. Oh, but yeah, I don't know how. I genuinely don't. I don't know how to get out of this cycle of like try really, really hard and then get burnt out and then stop, you know? And as a therapist, I feel like I should have a cheat code or something. Like I wish I had some like magical, some magical answer, something that school tells you is like the correct way. Oh, there's some dinosaur puppets that we just got because I can't stop buying random crap for my kid, which we will get to. We will talk about the clutter. So, yeah, same thing, same concept, right? Like, I know I have made mistakes in the past. I continue to make mistakes, but I want to get better. I don't know, guys, I don't know what happened to me in like January and February. I mean, we're halfway through February and I'm trying to turn it around, right? Like I'm trying to turn this ship around, but it takes, if you've got a big ship, like it takes a while to turn it around. You can't just like, it's not a speedboat, right? Like I'm driving an oil tanker around here. It's going to take a significant effort to right the ship and turn it in the right direction. I can't just make a hairpin turn here. Uh, but yeah, I don't know what happened to me. I don't know what happened. I don't know if anybody else feels this way. I feel like also, this is not scientific, but my sense is that because I live in the Midwest and you just cannot go outside half of the time, like most of the time, I think there's just this tendency to like just give up, right? Like your will to be productive is just in the toilet. I think when I lived in Southern California, this was not how I was. Of course, I was also like 20 years ago. So I was, a child and a teenager when I lived in Southern California. So I don't know. But I definitely know that we didn't have this extreme shift in the weather and sun and like temperature and the ability to be outside without, getting frostbite or slipping and breaking your neck. So, um, I do think that has something to do with it. I don't want that to be an excuse, right? Like, I don't like that I'm using the winter as an excuse, but I do really feel like it impacts me pretty like sincerely. Oh, look what I'm doing. Look at me. This is me planning. Sorry, I just want to explain what I'm doing so you're not like, why why is this woman like journaling during a cleaning and decluttering session? But I did need to just sit down in this moment and write out what my plan was for the next couple days, because this is another problem. Like, my life had gotten out of control again. Like, I went from being very intentional, very on track, very on purpose, to, like I said, in the last couple months, like December, January, beginning of February, I was literally just existing. Like, I was just waking up and going along, getting along, doing what I had to do, and not being intentional about anything else other than just like the bare minimum, like showing up to work when I needed to, showing up to pick up and drop off the kids when I needed to, um, eating, and that was about it. Like, I wasn't planning my meals, I wasn't planning family dinners, and I wasn't really planning the weekends, like what needed to get done. And so what you're seeing right here is me trying to course correct. Like, this is the beginning stages of what you're hearing me talk about right now. Like, I just needed to get it on paper. Because I feel like I've kind of been spiraling a little bit, like just not on it. And writing things down physically really helps me a lot, a lot. I try to put everything in my phone as well. Like, I need to put reminders in my phone for a lot of things, but for some reason, like writing it out on paper is the most effective thing for me. I like doing that. What else? Where was I going with this? Yeah, I mean, I guess whatever, just complaining more about the struggle. The struggle of yeah, just kind of like getting swept along and not being focused on my goals. And how that has impacted me. Like, I've gained over 6 pounds, maybe 7 pounds back, of the 11 pounds that I lost. Like, that is the result of me not being intentional. My house has been more cluttered because I have not been intentional. I haven't been following a schedule. My YouTube videos have been less consistent, like as far as when they're coming out. Again, I've been less intentional. And also part of it is, part of it is winter, and part of it is I have more clients at work now. I have more, which is a great thing. It's a good thing. I have more, more money coming in. I'm more productive. My business is doing well. That's amazing. But the truth is, I was using a lot of that time where I would be at the office. If I only had maybe 2 clients in a day, then that meant that I could use that other time to record the voiceover for my videos like I'm doing right now, or go take a walk. That's when I was doing those things. And so when I started filling out my schedule and having, 4 clients in a row with a lunch break in between, and then having to write the notes for billing, then now I don't have that extra time anymore, right? To really think about myself, or to fit in those extra activities for me, right? Like taking a walk. And so those are the things that have fallen by the wayside as I've gotten busier with my work. The things that I had been doing for self-care and for my health were kind of the first things to fall off of my schedule. So I am just I'm trying really hard, guys. I'm trying to get back on track. I'm trying to like claw my way back onto the land, right? Out of, drowning in the pool. Like I am trying really hard, but it's so hard. It's so hard, so difficult when you're sort of just flailing around and like, I don't know, just struggling, feeling this, like the weight of the inertia. Like when you are at rest or when you are feeling lazy, it's the hardest part is to get moving, is to like start that ball rolling. And then again, with my schedule changes and with everything getting busier and with it being too cold to take my daughter outside with me on our walks, like my options are just more limited. And so it's, even if I get the ball rolling on one day, it's really hard to keep it rolling every single day, to keep it consistent. And I think for me, trying to do things kind of piecemeal, or like, oh, I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or oh, I do this 3 days a week, I do this 5 days a week, like that is harder for me. It's harder for me to do something a few days a week than it is to just say like, oh, this is just what I do every day. So I don't know. I'm trying to look at it through like an 80-20 lens, rather than an all or nothing lens. I get it. Like that is probably the biggest thing I learned when I did BodySlims, was it's better to do something than to do nothing, right? Like, yes, it would be great if you could do this perfectly, but if you can't do it perfectly, it's better to do a piece of it than it is to just not do anything. So that has been a huge shift for me. I'm trying to look at it that way. Like if I can move, 8 days out of 10, then that's great. If I can, or even like, if I can't do a whole hour, okay, well, maybe I can do like 40 minutes. Maybe I can do 20 minutes, whatever it is, right? It's better than just saying, forget it, I can't do this at all. So, where does this leave us? We have about 10 minutes left of the video, and I guess I would like to leave you all, if you've made it this long, with some things to chew on and think about for how you want to proceed. If you are, resonating with any of these things that I'm talking about, if you're really relating, and I'm so sorry if you are, because it is a frustrating thing to be aware of, right? This cycle of up and down, and motivation and no motivation, and feeling good and proud of yourself and then feeling like a piece of garbage. If you relate to that, I would love to leave you with some hope, because it'd be really sad if I didn't. And I'm a therapist, so I'm supposed to, be encouraging and help. So what am I telling myself? What am I noodling on? A really important thing, an impactful thing that I saw recently was a video from my friend Emilie. She has a great channel about slow living, but she is also the mother of a young girl, a 2-year-old, and she is a therapist. And so she spends a lot of time really thinking about these types of things. Like, how do you want to live your life? How can we be more intentional? How can we be more productive without running around like chickens with our heads cut off and just being active for the sake of activity, right? How can we be more purposeful and have meaning in what we're doing? So she put out an incredible video about decluttering the other day, and I will link it in the description because it was really, really good. And what I took away from that video, there were a lot of really good meaty points, but the biggest one that I took away was that we shouldn't just be sort of like, beating ourselves up over our clutter or like shaming ourselves about our clutter. And you can apply this to anything like weight loss or whatever your goals are that you're struggling with. But she was saying we shouldn't be beating ourselves up over it. We should approach clutter as like, if I'm walking into this room, what do I want it to do for me? Like how does this room serve me, or how would I like it to serve me? And what is this clutter sort of be getting in the way of, right? So for her, the example was her basement. There's a bunch of stuff in her basement. Clutter has accumulated. And now as she's thinking about clearing it out, she's trying to have a vision for what the space should be, or what she would love for it to be, what would feel fulfilling for her and her family. And her vision is that it could be a game room, like it could be a board game room where the games could be easily seen and easily stored, and there would be plenty of room to sit down together and enjoy time as a family. And so for her, it's like, oh man, like I want to get to that, right? That is the clear goal. And rather than, oh gosh, I'm a terrible person who has all this extra stuff, and shame on me for not getting off my butt and getting rid of it immediately, right? Which I think is how I've been approaching weight loss. That's how I've been approaching decluttering. It's kind of like doing it for the sake of doing it. Like I want to lose weight so that I will weigh a certain number or wear a certain size or look a certain way in a leotard or a bathing suit. Like, oh, I want to be 130 pounds so that when I go back to Mexico to visit my husband's family, they won't think that I am just a fat gringa. Like maybe they will see that I am like a healthy, active human being, right? Like these are the negative things that I tell myself. And the same thing with decluttering. It's like, oh, well, there's all these videos about, minimalism and how to be a good minimalist and how to declutter in a certain way, how to become a good homemaker so that you can be a good wife and a good mom. And those things are all kind of like, like generally a good idea, certainly, right? Like, yes, I would like to have a clean home, that's easy to clean up, every day or every weekend or whatever. I would like my husband to come home to a clutter-free environment where he feels happy to be here. But that's sort of like, I feel like I'm kind of punishing myself. Like when I'm decluttering, it's like, oh, shame on you. Like, look at all this extra stuff you bought. Shouldn't have done that. And now you're just going to donate it. And now you wasted all this money. And now you're just going to go buy more stuff. Right? Like kind of how I was talking about with clearing out the freezer and the refrigerator. Like, oh, shame on you. Like you bought all these vegetables and you never ate them. And now you're buying new vegetables. Like you're such a dum-dum. You're never going to really eat them. And so with the decluttering, it's kind of like, okay, what do I want, right? I want my husband and my family and myself to feel at peace in our home. I want us to have a clear environment where we can easily host people if we want to have people over, or like, we had a babysitter come today and I was able to clean up fairly quickly this morning because I had done a bigger clean over the weekend. And I would like it to just be simple, to not panic, if we're going to host something. And I would also like my daughter to be able to take more ownership of her things. And in order for her to do that, I think she has to have less things. In her preschool class that I go with her to on Fridays, in the classroom, there are not that many toys. And there's about anywhere from like 6 to 8 toddlers, like, anywhere from 18 months to 4 years old. And the 18-month to 4-year-old kids, because there are not that many toys, they know where each of those toys belongs. And so when it's time to enter the classroom, they get excited and they know where to look for the specific thing they want to play with. And then at the end, they all know where to put everything away. And I think that is such a beautiful thing. Like I think that is magical. And I think that that is the vibe that I would love to have in our house. And so as I'm starting to think about decluttering, I would like to, and I, again, just want to shout out Emilie for this because it really made me think. I want to think about it less as a punishment or less as a shame and guilt thing. Like, oh, I have to do this because otherwise, like, I'm a terrible person. I want to think about it more as, wow, like by decluttering, by getting rid of these items that are not bringing us value, I am clearing space for the life that I want. I'm clearing space for the activities that I want. I'm clearing space for my family to be able to function well, right? And I've even seen this actually, honestly, today with my son, Amari. I've told you this before. When there is clutter, it attracts like more clutter. And so the past few days, like there was clutter all over the kitchen. And as soon as I cleaned it, and I have been keeping it clean, I've been making a point to keep it clean over the past few days and keep it free of clutter, especially the countertops in the kitchen. My son has been more apt to clear up every single thing that he has taken out in the kitchen. I know in a perfect world, that would be how it is all the time, but it is not, but I have noticed a difference. Like when I am allowing the clutter and I am perpetuating the clutter, everybody else in the family kind of takes that same attitude and leaves things on the table, leaves things out on the counter. But when I am leading and making sure that I'm picking up after myself, then the other people in the house seem to follow suit, which is magic. I haven't even had to say anything except for thank you. So that is beautiful. And also keeping the dishwasher emptied, right? Like if the clean dishes are clean, I'm trying to put them away as quickly as possible so that my family members can all put the dirty things in the dishwasher as soon as they can. So anyway, that is kind of the point, right? Like I would like to, you don't need to do anything if you don't want to, but I am going to try to start being more mindful again, start being more intentional, start having a vision for what I'm working towards with my health, with my weight, with my activity, with my food choices. I'm trying to be more intentional and work towards something meaningful to me rather than just flog myself for being disgusting. Right? For being a slob, for being lazy, for being, all of those mean things that I say to myself. So that's what I got. That's my encouragement to you. I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again this week. I love you all, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. So thanks again, guys, and I will see you soon. Mwah. Bye.